All right, hey everybody, this is Marshal Younger. I've been a writer for Adventures in Odyssey for about 28 years now. And I'm coming to you from Spring Hill, Tennessee. It's a beautiful day in Spring Hill. This is an office. I don't say it's my office because I don't use this very often. I usually write from the library. I take my laptop and write at the library. But library is closed, obviously, and so I've had to make use of this office for the first time. Now, not to make light of the situation that's going on out there, because it is serious, but a quarantine for a writer is not such a bad thing. And if you guys are writing out there, if you guys are writers, then you probably are trying to take advantage of the opportunities that you have. All those distractions and excuses that you might have had for leaving the house are now gone. So you're trying to take advantage of that. But sometimes it's hard to take advantage of it because of writer's block. And so I've been asked to talk about writer's block and how to overcome that. I have a few techniques, but the honest answer to how to avoid or overcome writer's block is, I don't know. I spend 2/3 of my waking hours in a state of block, but I do have some things that I try to do, and it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. But you can do whatever you want with the information. The first one is to just get it down. If you're writing, especially a first draft, is just to get the story done. Put it out there, even if it's not good. A lot of times I will get stuck on a joke. I like writing little funny lines in my scripts, and sometimes I get stuck on a joke and I can't get the right joke, I can't get the right timing or whatever. So I'll just have to skip it, put down a lesser joke, and I'll move on and I'll fix it later. There's a movie called Finding Forrester. It stars Sean Connery. It's a good movie. He plays a writer. And one of his lines is to say, a first draft is written with your heart, the second draft is written with your head. And I believe that. I think you can write your first draft and just make it whatever you want, but then the second draft, you've got to cut it down and make it work as a story. When I send a script to the Odyssey team, it is never really a first draft. I will write a draft, and then I'll go back and I'll cut things and I'll change things. And really, when I'm sending a draft to the Odyssey team, I will not send a first draft. I'll send what amounts to a second draft. Number 2 is to write something. Just get something down, even if it's not related to the project that you're working on right now. Write something in a journal. Write something. That's what I do. And if something strikes me as something that what God's telling me through my prayers, write down a Bible verse. Just get something down, just to get yourself into that writing mode. Number 3 is to build on momentum. The tendency. This is something that I just learned just in the last few years. Somebody mentioned this, and it really works for me. Is to the tendency is to, if you're working on a project on consecutive days, you're working on it and they're going to work on it the next day, is to write. If you're getting on a roll, is to keep going until you get to a point, it's 2:00 in the morning and suddenly you realize, I'm stuck now. I'm not sure what to do with this next scene. And so you figure, I'll sleep on it and then I'll come back in the next morning fresh. But the way that works for me is to stop kind of in the middle of a scene and decide, okay, I know where I'm going with this. I know what the next line is. I know what the next part is. How this is going to land. I stop there, and then the next morning I finish that scene because it gets you on a roll. It builds momentum, and it moves you on into the next scene. Otherwise, when you get up in the morning and you're stuck, then that could last hours. But getting on a roll is really important to me. Number 4 is to change your environment. I am all over the place when I'm writing. Like I said, I like writing at the library, and I will write on my front porch, and I'll write at restaurants. I write at the park. Sometimes there's a pavilion at our local park that has an electrical outlet, and I love going there. I can't stay in one place for very long. It's really kind of strange and maybe obsessive on my part. Number 5 is to do something physical, some exercise. I walk all the time. You can ask anybody on the Odyssey team. Is that if we're in a room at a writers meeting and it's in a large room, I will pace. I'm pacing. I'm going all over the place. I can barely sit still. I have a pedometer on my phone that tracks my steps and the miles that I walk during the day. I can easily hit 5 miles without ever leaving the doors of the library, because I walk back and forth in the stacks and all through and just all around. The people that work there know that about me, and it's kind of embarrassing, but I have to be walking. The 6th and last one is probably the most important. Is if something is not working, it's probably because I've forgotten the fundamentals of storytelling in a way. If I say, okay, I'm stuck here, I've got to move past it. I got to go back to the basics and ask myself, okay, storytelling is a main character, a hero who wants something, but there are things that are getting in the way of a hero wanting it. So you got to ask yourself, okay, how does this scene either help or hurt the hero get that goal? And if it doesn't, then that may be why I'm getting stuck. So it's just going back to the fundamentals of what you know about writing, and making sure that all works, and then eventually you can work through whatever writer's block you have. Anyway, those are my 6 ideas for overcoming writer's block, and I hope maybe that's helpful to you. Maybe it's not. But anyway, keep safe and keep healthy, and I will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.